we were gaslit into him telling us hi, and we're live. Also, hi. Hello, everybody. Hi, friends. Hi, Brooklyn. Hi, everybody.
What's up?
Thursday. This is a random time. I'm having a heating emergency in my house. Not heating necessarily because it's not quite there yet, although it is getting cooler. My furnace, boiler, burner, water heater, I don't know what the fancy words, it shit the bed. And it is dead, once and for all, dead.
It's fakakta.
But it is fakakta. I bought my house in 2007, and it was there, and I think it was a year or two old then. So it's made it quite a long way. But they like Frankenstein this fucking thing over the past several years with patching and all this stuff. Because I was like, I cannot afford a new boiler / water heater / furnace / whatever they are. So that's why I am personally sorry that we are late. It's not Brooklyn's fault. It's all mine. And the guy, by the way, canceled the appointment. So I didn't even
after all that.
So myself and 2 teenagers are working off of a 20-gallon temporary tank. And
that's not enough.
No, let me tell you. Oh my God. That's not enough for the dishes, the dishwasher. I mean, it's just one of those things. But anyway, we have so much.
It's enough for my coffee.
It is, yeah. It's enough for a couple cups of coffee. And if you have a coffee, let's get you coffee so we can coffee talk. I don't have a
coffee talk. Discuss amongst yourselves.
You talk amongst yourselves. I'm a little verklempt because I can't drink coffee anymore. I've hit that age of my life, my friend, 51 years young. It's not quite sweater weather though. I cannot drink coffee. I love coffee. Coffee does not like. Coffee says no more.
Wait, just to be clear, we are doing Mike Myers from SNL, the coffee talk thing, right?
Yeah, and then I added a little Tina Fey and Amy Poehler sweater weather.
I feel like that's like they were doing a Bronx accent.
I think it was Philly. Was it not Philly? No,
it could have been.
That was Bronx because... Wait. No, because it wasn't Tina Fey, Amy Poehler. It was Amy Poehler and Maya Rudolph, right?
Oh, they were doing... Yeah.
Tina Fey came and visited them, and she was from Philly, and they made her talk because she talked fancy. And they said, go ahead, say it. Say water, say water. She goes, water. Which is the only thing in Philly I can say is water. And hoagie and water. But prior to that, we were doing... we were doing Mike Myers coffee talk.
You want to hear something funny? I get people all the time talking about my voice because I do the story time with BDD, and I get comments like this, like, "You don't sound like you're from Brooklyn." And I'm like, "What do you thought? What am I supposed to sound like?" Hey, I'm walking here, huh?
Yeah.
What are you talking about, huh? Get the hell out of here! What is a Brooklyn accent? I guess that is a Brooklyn accent, right?
I mean, that's the thing too, is that like there's not one specific Brooklyn accent. There's not one specific Jersey accent, because like people could say it's Snooky, but I don't know very many people in my own life who actually talk like Snooky. Like, once you reach a certain age, I don't know. I think we shed a lot of that, maybe. Or I never had it because I grew up in Morris County and then Sussex County, New Jersey, and it's like they have Confederate flags. Okay.
Oh shit! Really?
Jersey. Yeah. No, Sussex County, I call it like Jersey, West Virginia. No offense to West Virginia. But yeah, they do. They have Confederate flags. One of our, I don't know what he was. I forget. He reps of some kind, local reps. He posed for a photograph while in office in either a Confederate flag T-shirt or there was a Confederate flag off the back of his truck. Yeah, somebody who was representing the people of my county. Yeah. Good times.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
But yeah, hey, Vinny Barbarino. Yeah, like you could do like John Travolta from Welcome Back, Kotter. Yeah.
What? Wait.
What? What? It's weird. It's weird. Sit on my face? Toilet kick, guys. What did he say? Oh my God.
Wait. Up your nose with a rubber hose.
And look, Parker's face. Don, you're right. He's a state senator? Holy fuck. Parker Space. Thank you, Don Rowe. Yes.
Wow.
So, yes. And he owned, I don't know if they still do. Don, maybe help me out here. one of the world's worst zoos. You can't call Space Farms a zoo because it's not a zoo in the conventional sense of a zoo. It is a wild animal park, and they were known for this giant grizzly bear, I think. Can't remember its name. In its habitat, thank you, Dawn. Its habitat in Brooklyn was like, that's my daughter. Sorry. A small, it never ends, a small cage. Like it was this giant, still there. It's still there. Jesus, Goliath. Yes, Dawn is killing this right now. It's
That's
so
funny.
sad. It should have been shut down bazillions of years ago. And that's the guy who is now a state senator who took a picture with a Confederate flag in New Jersey. In New Jersey. New Jersey.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you. Dawn wins Goliath. Yeah, Dawn wins all the prizes. But anyway, yeah, that's like Sussex County. I mean, it's getting better. Most of New Jersey is moving away from that. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. But anyway, how are you?
I am, with like the rest of America, disappointed. I went through such mood swings this weekend. Like Friday night. Friday night is my pizza and movie night, right? So I like shut everything down. I kept getting my pizza and my wings on. I get the movie going, and just out of curiosity, around 11:30 or midnight, I open up my phone and I look on Twitter, and I see three things trending. I saw, uh, is Trump dead? It was one. And then Trump is dead was the second one. And the third one was the most hilarious one, was no one mourns the wicked. And I was like, that's cold-blooded.
Oh, yeah.
But also accurate.
Yeah.
So I had that moment like, um, did you happen to buy a lottery ticket yesterday or past couple of days?
I'm not one of the bazillion people who did, although there is a drawing, I think, Saturday, and I will probably get one for that.
Wait, did somebody win the billion?
No,
Holy cow. So
just like
I
now, I
had
think
that
it's the biggest jackpot ever, I think now, which means I have to go get a ticket, right?
so I had that moment where we all have, like, minutes after you buy a lottery ticket, you're kind of like, you allow yourself to daydream what life would be like if you won. Like, what would I do with my winnings and how would I react? And, all this thing, you go through all this stuff in your head. And I had that kind of moment, you know, in the days before it was confirmed that that motherfucker was still amongst the living. I was like, wow. And at first I was scared about JD Vance,
Yeah.
and I was thrilled that the fever would have broken, with MAGA. You'd lose half of MAGA and maybe we could get some stuff done in Congress. I went through all this stuff and I had to write. I know you wrote a Substack about it. I wrote one too. And I wrote one specifically to tell people, look, if you're smiling, it's okay. Don't feel guilty because like I'm a big movie guy, and if like when Hans Gruber fell from the top of Nakatomi Plaza, was nobody mourning that shit,
No.
you know? And
No.
Donald Trump presents himself as a villain, as a
Yeah.
bad guy, as a dickhead, right? So,
Mhm.
allow yourself to react normally.
Mhm.
If he's been torturing you and other people, then he's a bad guy. And so, yeah, we should react accordingly, I think.
Yeah, I mean, 1,000%. And while that is true, and I agree with you 100%, and I wrote a Substack also about not feeling a fucking iota of guilt or remorse. I will
Yeah.
say that there is a moment, though, to pause and reflect on both what that says about him and what it says about us in the reality that he has imposed upon all of us, right? So, like, it's not in your nature, it's not in my nature to be hoping for someone else to die, right? Like, that's just not
That's right.
right? Like, this is not
Yeah.
inherent to who you are or to who I am. We are both empathetic, compassionate, caring people who
Yeah.
actually want good things for other people, right? Within reason. Like, I would never like go out there and cheer for his death. Like, right? Like I wouldn't go, I hope he dies and I hope he dies like this. I will write whole essays about how I would love to see him imprisoned in a tower where he's surrounded by mirrors and no access to hairspray or spray tan or anything else. And it's downwind from a French fry factory and next to a wind farm with the woo, 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 and Hillary Clinton just laughing on a loop playing on audio. I can articulate those wishes, but I would not actively go out there and lobby for his death.
Yeah.
That said, right? So, like, when faced with the maybe of it, it does force you to grapple a little bit with how you would feel. What would you do? How would you react and respond? And knowing that I was inherently gleeful about some of that reality, much in the same way as Osama bin Laden's death. I wasn't in the street like a lot of people were, but I was glad that he was gone from this earth. I was not sad when Jeffrey Epstein was gone from this earth, and I would not shed a tear of sadness if Donald Trump was gone from this earth. And that's sad to me because he has done so much harm to people. And and he has been gleeful about it. And by the way, the last thing I'll say about this right now is I'm old enough to remember when my favorite president was diagnosed with with stage 5 cancer.
Stage 4.
Stage 4 cancer.
Although a lot of people don't know that there are 9 stages of cancer.
Wait, what? Did Trump say that?
No, Don Jr. said that.
Oh, God. Well, Donald Trump mocked him. He mocked Joe Biden's cancer diagnosis, just like he mocked his stutter, just like, he has mocked a disabled reporter. This is a person who's so depraved and so immoral and so heartless and evil and cruel. He couldn't even extend wishes of condolences for, the legislators who were murdered in Minnesota.
Paul Pelosi.
He made jokes about Paul Pelosi. I got a death threat from someone who said I was going to be Paul Pelosi next, by the way. They called, sent pictures of my house, said they were on their way with a hammer to kill me. And he made jokes about that. So when the MAGA, like, pearl clutchers are out there feigning outrage because we dared to entertain the thought and we're not sad about it, fuck that. And fuck that.
That's right. Yeah. And I agree with you. Like, I do kind of mourn, right? I hate the fact that I use the word hate so much now, right? Because I used to tell my kids when they were little, I used to tell them, like, hate is a very strong word. Don't use the word hate. It takes up so much of your energy. You know what I mean? So I hate that he has, reintroduced that to my lexicon, that I've started, using that more frequently. And I hate the kind of person I've become, that in normal times, I don't remember, honestly, when George W. Bush, was president. I remember despising him. I don't remember, hoping that he would, leave the ranks of the living. I don't remember even having to think of creative euphemisms for describing that without getting myself in trouble. I don't remember,
Right.
But so here we are, and as long as we acknowledge that does not define us, right? That moment of anticipation, hopeful anticipation, doesn't make us a bad person. It just means that we are reacting normally to the possibility that somebody who has made people's lives a living hell might not be able to do that anymore.
Yeah. I didn't cry when the house fell on the witch in The Wizard of Oz. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, I brought one of my sons. He doesn't play with these anymore. He's almost 16, but he called these his guys, and I was looking through his guys the other day, and I saw Luke Skywalker. So I decided to bring Luke with me to my office. So he lives back here now. But the reason I'm holding him in this moment is because one of the lessons of Star Wars, right, is that Luke did hello Yoda. Oh, look, it's reunited. It feels so good.
He's a strong Jedi Knight.
You guys did not have puppetry on your bingo card for today, but it's not just story time with BDD. It's story time with BDD and JoJo and figurines. But there is a message in Star Wars, right? Many, but one of them is for Luke not to give in to the dark side, right? So it's like, that giving in to the hate, right? It is difficult. It's difficult for a lot of people who that is not their resting place, right? That's just not your resting state. Your resting state is the opposite. It is, not hating. And it's hard to feel that so often, but he inspires this visceral, like core like emotion when he does the things that he does that you're just like, this is just purely fucking hateful. Like the White House
Yeah.
posting yesterday a photograph, obviously one that they had manipulated, of Rosie O'Donnell, where they stretched out her face and they made some. I mean, this is pure.
Also, Adam Schiff with the
Adam Schiff.
elongated neck. Like
Yeah.
this is our president.
Yeah, it's just it's embarrassing, but it's also that he's so hateful and he's so evil and he wants so much to keep poking and stoking and priming and prodding everyone for division and hate. And like it inspires the worst in us, but we can't, like you said, we can't give in to that because we're no different from them, but we can have these strong responses. I know you and I were like-minded in the wake of whatever happened or didn't happen in
Right.
Pennsylvania, that we weren't running out to Twitter like, fuck him and fuck that and good. I'm glad somebody took a pop at him. It was like, let's take a minute. Let's
Yep.
take a beat.
Yep.
We don't condone and or endorse political violence of any kind. So let's take a second. As things have evolved, my
Right.
position on all of that, and you and I talked about this, has changed somewhat, where I'm very suspicious of what actually went down that day, because it's kind of weird how his hand won't heal, but his ear was like miracle ear. Yeah.
His ear, his hand, the bruise on his hand is taking way longer to heal than a bullet wound on the side of his head. I'm suspicious about that. I'm suspicious about the fact that he never talks about that so-called attempted assassin. He's still talking about Rosie O'Donnell. That's a beef that goes back to what, 2008?
Yep.
And he's still talking about her, but
Excellent point.
the guy who attempted to snuff out his life, not a peep about him. Come on. Come on now.
You think the guy holds grudges? He holds grudges about everything, always, including, like you said, Rosie O'Donnell, but also Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton. I don't know if you know this, but the fucking petty asshole that he is, speaking of giving in to hate, he has this, I don't know if you've seen this, the iconic outdoor, like, portico hallway between the Oval and I think the residence at the White House, the one that's not the one that's enclosed where the red Christmas trees and shit were. It's the other side. He's putting up because he can't stop fucking drawing on the walls because he's a petulant toddler, like literally like a little kid who can't stop. He's now putting a memorial wall of photographs along that hallway, that corridor that we've seen so many historic pictures throughout the course of time. Like Joe Biden and Barack Obama did that jogging thing that went viral, all that stuff.
Yeah.
He's lining it with photographs. And one of the photographs, because he's a petulant fucking man baby, is of Joe Biden's auto pen. I swear to God that is something he is doing because it's in Politico, I think, today, because he's a big old fat man baby and he cannot let go of anything once he has a little nugget of it. And that guy shot him and he never talks about him. Never.
Can we talk for a minute about how badly our press has failed us? Because what I was expecting with his with his first press briefing since he rejoined the ranks of the living, was what I was expecting was at least one reporter to ask about, the bruise on his hand, to ask about, his health, what we got instead was Peter Doocy lobbing up, well, did you hear that the people thought you were dead? And when did you find out that you weren't dead? So rolling your eyes, can you get a load of this nonsense treatment of the issue allowed Trump to sidestep the whole thing, not have to account for his whereabouts, to a room full of supposedly serious journalists. Nobody followed up on that. It's like, come on, what are you guys doing? You're just taking dictation.
That's exactly right. They're stenographers now. That's it. And I also agree with you 1,000% that was a miscarriage of their duties as journalists. I mean, this was a massive story. This is a person who does not shut up ever under any circumstances, including when he was shot at, right? Like, he doesn't ever shut up. Never.
Yeah.
He was complete radio silence. He wouldn't let photographers, reporters within hundreds of yards of him at best. We got grainy Bigfoot sighting photos, right? Like, he's going golfing, but we don't see him golfing. We don't have anybody film him golfing, so we don't actually know that he was golfing.
Somebody was throwing garbage bags out the window.
That too, which is another.
And then he said, when asked about that, he said it was AI. And get this, I'm still pissed off that nobody was like, hey, wait, what? He said, whenever something very bad happens, I'm just gonna blame it on AI. And I'm like, this is okay? Is this okay with everybody?
Zero pushback on that. Zero. So that press conference, I wrote about this yesterday because I am so fucking tired of it. Remember the movie Sex, Lies, and Videotape? This is just called Lies, Lies, and Videotape because we have videotape of those garbage bags being thrown out of a window that is not supposed to open. That everybody, including him, one useful thing, one little nugget of truthfulness is that those are bulletproof windows that do not open. And by the way, he also said, my wife said, hey, can't we have some fresh air in here? Bullshit. She don't live there. We all know that.
But I kind of believe that Melania would want some fresh air, considering the fact that she is confined with diapers, full diaper smell all the time. True. So
right, even Putin had to cover his nose. But so that press conference was like a Russian nesting doll of lies, and of the media just moving on to the next lie because they asked. Ducey was the only one to ask him where the fuck he'd been, and it was, like you said, framed as a joke. When did you realize you were dead? And he lied even then because he said, I had no idea. And then he said, I heard all about it.
20 seconds later.
And, right? In the same little breath. And no one says anything. So then, I think it's Ducey also who asks him about the garbage bags. I believe it is because he said, I don't know anything about that either. And then Ducey showed him the video. He honestly.
Right.
He said, that must be AI. It has to be fake. They can do anything now. And I'm thinking, is this whole thing AI right now? Because he says they can't open those windows. Everyone knows they can't open those windows. In the meantime, anybody in that press pool who did their real job would already have known that the White House confirmed that those bags were thrown out that window. And they said it was a contractor, which also doesn't line up with anything.
Right.
But they moved on. They moved on from that. They moved on from where he had been because all he had to say was, I was out and about. I was everywhere. It was a long weekend. He's the president of the United States and he's nowhere to be seen on Labor Day. Nowhere. Like, none of it. And they did it again yesterday. I'm so angry, right? This is why what you do is so important, why what I do is so important, why what all these new media content creators, what they're doing is so important because they're not beholden to these corporate overlords. So yesterday, minutes after the survivors were speaking on the Capitol and whatever was happening with those flyovers, no, I don't believe it was for a fallen Polish soldier, by the way.
No, it's bullshit.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Moments later, he said that the Epstein, everything was a hoax again. And do you know what the follow-up question was? So let's talk about Vladimir Putin. What? 10 women bravely just recounted their horrific, traumatic life experiences where as children, they were trafficked, groomed, and molested, raped, violated by monsters. And they said in that press conference that Donald Trump was Jeffrey Epstein's biggest brag.
Yep.
That he had an 8x10. We knew this already, that his biggest brag as a friend was Donald Trump. So he was name checked. So was Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton did those things and he should fucking be fried too. And
That's
then
right.
minutes later, he calls the whole thing a hoax. And the press just snoozes on it, moves on. What the fuck?
Not only a hoax, but also irrelevant, which I
Yes.
think, which is even worse somehow. It's even worse because these women's lives have been forever changed, forever damaged, and you're basically calling what happened to them irrelevant. And I'm sorry, that's like that. Not only is that not presidential, it's inhumane. It's inhuman.
Yeah. I mean, if Marjorie Taylor fucking Greene can find some sort of semblance of, I don't
Shocking.
want to say humanity, right? Like that's a stretch because she also is the embodiment of some pretty horrific things like chasing down David Hogg, etc.,
Yeah.
calling school shootings, false flags. That's all very bad. She is a deeply troubled, not good person. But if she, in this moment, for whatever her motivations or Thomas Massey's motivations may be, can find enough of a spine-ish thing, then like the president of the United States, not that I like calling him that, it is just factual that that is his position. He can't because
Yeah.
he can't because we don't know in what ways he is implicated in these files.
I am almost certain that he is heavily implicated, and not just in the way that, oh, we were good friends and we hung out and I wrote him a birthday card. Like, whatever your worst thoughts about what he did were, they're probably accurate and probably even worse than that. I'm not ready to high five Marjorie Taylor Greene over, her stance yesterday, but I am ready to give her a golf clap for that, because you know, you don't see too many people taking a stand in defiance of Donald Trump, like Speaker Mike Johnson, the cowardliest coward that ever cowarded.
Mhm.
You don't see too many people defying his wishes, and right now he is one of a few people who doesn't want to release all of the files. And while I thought for a second, I thought, you know what, it's kind of a good idea. Did you see that Epstein survivor who said that they were going to compile their own list? I thought that was a good idea, but then I got concerned that
Yeah.
they could possibly um, attempt to discredit these women if their list is not corroborated by whatever's in the Epstein files, that they're not going to show us, right?
Yeah.
The same way they bombed some supposed Venezuelan drug dealers in the middle of international waters, and they said, "Oh yeah, he was a drug dealer." You know, all they have to do is say, "Oh, they're lying. Their information is not corroborated, and we can't show you the files." He could, with the snap of his fingers, authorize the release of all of the Epstein
Oh
files,
yeah.
but he is not. What they released the other day, it was mostly already seen.
Exactly. Exactly. And like these are the questions that it's just like Marjorie Taylor Greene will not. She will not go far enough down any kind of logic rabbit hole that she will come up with a natural conclusion. Again, it's like they'll twist themselves into pretzels to make sure to accommodate protecting him at all costs because every lie that they have bought into is built on this. But
Yeah.
but she can't come to this conclusion that he has something to do with it. Meanwhile, ask yourselves the question, right? Like Marjorie Taylor Greene, why wouldn't he release all of it? Why is he obstructing it? Why did he say that releasing the list was an act of hostility against him? Why would he
Yes.
say that? And
Yeah.
right? And why would they have flown those fighter jets, I think F-16s, over that press conference repeatedly? If it was a
Yeah.
dead man formation or whatever that's called, right? Like
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen my share of
For a
files.
Polish dignitary or something like that. I've never seen that done for Americans who died. I haven't seen them,
John McCain's passing, he wanted to force the flags to be flown at full staff before they were supposed to be flown at full staff. But he's using our F-16s and $1 million flyover for a Polish pilot. Give me a fucking break, okay? Like we're all stupid. No, we're not stupid. And so why that there's that, right? So again, 2 + 2 should equal 4.
It's a distraction.
Right? But also, one fundamental thank you. We're going to play that game real fast. But one fundamental question that was brought up during the press conference, but Trump has never been asked about it, as far as I know, is why the fuck Todd Blanche goes down there to Florida and talks to that goddamn monster who has been sentenced to 20 years in prison for sex trafficking children. And a few weeks later, she gets a private jet flight to a club fed in Texas. And not only that, but she got somebody who belonged there removed to a higher security prison because they dared to express some outrage over a child sex trafficker being in their prison. So they moved her. Oh yeah, they moved her to a higher security prison without goat yoga. But it came up at the press conference repeatedly because those survivors said that was horrible for us. How could that happen? And yet the press, where's the press? Where's the press? Where's the outrage? Where's the scandal? Where's the story? I've written about it. Other people have talked about it. Gone from view. She's going to get a pardon. We all know that. But he's going to wait till he's out of office or on death's door, whatever. And I just don't understand why why Marjorie Taylor Greene can't draw the natural conclusions here.
I'm not even sure he'll wait until he's on his way out the door. At this point,
who cares, right?
It kind of seems like he's doing whatever the hell he wants to do, and he doesn't care how petty it looks, how crooked it looks. Everything he's done since he's been in office, one of his first acts was to make it legal for Americans to bribe foreign officials. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
When that happened, I was like, Siri, show me what a mobster would do if he were president. Like that, it boggled my mind that everybody was like, oh yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah.
That's not normal. That's not normal. Let's make bribery legal again.
You're right.
What the hell?
He doesn't have any gatekeepers. There's no guardrails. And then what's the accountability? The Supreme Court basically told any president, yep, you know what? As long as it's an official act, you're good.
Immunity.
Yeah. So he's making billions of dollars on Bitcoin, and every other asshole in his, criminal syndicate of a family, they're all making bank off of Bitcoin. They're manipulating the markets, and where some people just randomly know exactly what to spend on what and when right before the thing happens to the thing. He's doing all of that. It's blatant corruption right in front of our eyes. And there's no accountability because the Republicans in Congress have castrated themselves and they are no longer an co-equal branch of government. Now they are an arm of the executive. They are now Donald Trump's. They're kind of like his heavies, honestly. That's you see RFK Jr. up there today, and you realize as outraged as some of them are, Bill, looking at you, fucking Cassidy, you voted for this shit because you cannot stand up to Donald Trump. You voted for this because you have cut your own dick off despite your responsibilities to your constituents. So, you know what? Like, they created so much of this mess. And watching them today, like talking to that bear dumping, whale decapitating, dead worm baby bird blending and listening to him sounding like a pug had sex with Darth Vader and was raised by Stephen Miller, who was in the throes of bronchitis. Like, honest to God,
I got the visual there. I got the visual.
Thank you.
That's
a pug and Darth Vader having a baby.
But pugs are cute, though.
Pugs are cute, but they got the
yeah.
They can't breathe because we overbred and all the things. But anyway, let's play our game.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So last week we were supposed to have a show, but our friend here needed some recharging the battery time, and good on you, my friend. Good on you. But I did have a game, a little guessing game planned. And here's how it's going to go, right? I'm going to flash some stuff on the screen. Wait, let me rephrase that.
I know we have no tubins. No tubins.
All right. I'm going to show a question, right? There we go. And Joe has to guess whether it was a distraction from the Epstein files, or this was something that had nothing to do with with Donald Trump's um interference, or is it both? And if she is able to correctly guess at least 4 of these, one of our lucky viewers will get an autographed copy free of The Bigliest Loser, written by yours truly, right? It's beautifully illustrated book, free.
Beautifully.
And and if she's able to guess 7 to 10 correctly, then another viewer will get this same book, plus they will also get the Siren mug, coffee mug,
not with my lip gloss on.
Exclusive, available here, and the website too, I think,
yes,
right?
on the siren.com, the Siren Network, the Siren Network, siren.com, the sirennetwork.com. I'm losing my brain. Yes, the sirennetwork.com, and I did my nails to match my logo, by the way.
Ah, very nice. Very nice.
I didn't do it on purpose. It just worked out like that. But yes, and your incredible book, which bonus, autograph, personalized copy. Like, who doesn't want that? Girls would throw their panties at you for that.
So here's how it's going to work, Joe. Okay.
Okay.
Once we hit the 4 correct guess mark, I'm going to tell you to close your eyes and and hit the thing where people's names pop up.
Okay.
You're going to randomly pick somebody, whoever is watching, whose name happens to pop up.
Okay.
And that is who is going to get the first prize.
Okay. And then
how
do
the
they
same
send
goes
us?
once.
Yeah. So then they're going to message me their stuff, their address and stuff.
Yeah, they're going to have to message you their shipping info.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we ready?
I am. I was born ready. I think I was made for this. I think I was made for this. I just need to stretch. Let me stretch. Hold on. Okay. I'm stretching. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, here's the first one. The first one is Washington Commanders name change controversy. Was this a distraction or a real event?
Oh, gosh, this is so hard. It's so hard. So both.
Okay, well, you get partial credit for that because it was a distraction. He can't change the name of a football team.
But he made it a real thing because, well, it wasn't a real thing like they actually changed their name, but he made it a real. Okay, maybe I didn't understand the rules. It was a distraction that he was trying to make into a real thing. Okay, so let me just caveat that. So I don't know if I got a point. Sorry,
you got a half a point in that. Okay, still good. Ready? Here's the next one.
Ready. My bracelets, by the way, it's in Morse code. It says never give up. So I'm going to just rub on this because I'm never going to give up getting in this game. I'm never going to give up.
Here's the next one.
Okay.
Accusations of treason against Barack Obama.
I need a bell. I know this one. This is a distraction. I win. Okay.
Correctamundo. So you got 1.5. 1.5.
Trying to find my bracelet. There it is. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Next one.
Never give up. Right there.
You ready?
Yes.
Release of MLK assassination files.
So this is a both. I think this is officially a both. because it actually happened, but it was also a distraction. Am I playing this right?
He doesn't give a shit about MLK. So I that's his distraction. So you're at 2 right now. You have 2 points so far.
Okay.
It's
What?
still
No,
good.
why
It's
that's
still
a
good.
both? If that wasn't a both, because that seemed like a both. So I'm so confused. Because like if that he made that a real thing, and it was a distraction. So maybe I'm okay. Okay, it's fine. 2 points. I got 2. Oh, okay.
Iranian nuclear facilities bombed by Israel.
Very much a distraction, but also a real thing. So real, okay, but also a distraction. Yeah, but I get okay. I think
You
can
get
I?
credit for that one.
Okay, okay, okay. Yes.
Okay. Here's the
Okay.
next one.
Yeah.
Catastrophic Texas floods.
Real. I mean, yeah, real and really sad because Texas Republicans held up voting on providing disaster aid relief for those people so that they could get their gerrymandered maps.
So you are now at 4, which means one of our lucky viewers has just qualified to receive this free autograph by yours truly. And let me just say, many people have said I have the most beautiful signature of all time.
The best people, believe me. Yeah. Great
Okay,
big
so what
strong
you have
men.
to do now, Joe,
Yeah.
you got to close your eyes
Okay.
and randomly pick one viewer.
I'm gonna scroll here and then I'm gonna pick. Okay. I pick Dorothy. Dorothy Paradis. Dorothy
Dorothy, who?
Paradis? Paradis. Paradis. Dorothy.
Very nice.
Congratulations,
Congratulations,
Dorothy.
Dorothy. I'll be autographing this to you. If you want me to write out a specific message to you, please let Joe know. Please contact her with your details, right?
Dorothy is very happy. Dorothy, OMG. Okay, okay.
Do it through the what's this app called?
Substack.
Do it through the Substack app.
Substack app. Yeah. Message me on Substack and Dorothy, congratulations. We will
Okay, you ready for the next one?
Yes, great big strong men with tears in their eyes. Okay, fake AI video and images of Obama. Distraction. Winner, chicken dinner. Okay, bye.
That's
Okay,
fine.
I think I get it now.
Excuse me. Okay.
Okay.
Russiagate revival with Tulsi Gabbard.
Distraction.
Booyah!
Yeah. Right. But also real. She acts so fucking stupid.
No, it's not real. It wasn't real when they first brought it up.
Oh,
They're
I mean it's real that she's actually bringing it up. Yeah. Like yeah.
yeah,
Right. I
but
gotcha.
yeah. So what irritates me about that is that they've already investigated the whole Russiagate thing. Marco Rubio was one of the people who participated in that investigation. It's insane.
Yeah.
Next.
Co-authored the report. Rosie O'Donnell
Rosie O'Donnell citizenship threat.
Real. I mean, that happened. Is that what it was a distraction, but he really did threaten her citizenship. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
I'm gonna give you a half a point on that one.
Okay. So yeah, that's where I'm getting
6.5.
tripped up. I'm getting tripped up because he really did it. It was really done, but it was a distraction. So they're all kind of both. But yeah, okay.
Yeah. So if you look at it that way, anything that he throws out there could be real because he threw it out there. But his motivation for putting it out is to distract, right?
1,000%.
He doesn't honestly care about her citizenship. I don't think. Right? Where is she, in Scotland or Ireland?
Ireland. He just wants to hurt her in some way. That's it. That's all he wants. And because he's
also, I gotta say, I kind of love that she's still that she still is under his skin to the point where he still has something to say about her.
He has Rosie derangement syndrome.
That he does.
Yeah. Okay. Hillary Clinton email scandal revival distraction.
Oh, yeah.
That's 8. Is that 8?
That is 7.5,
7 point.
which means that now we have yet another lucky viewer who qualifies to receive not only an autographed copy of The Bigliest Loser, but a lovely siren, a coffee mug. You also don't have to drink coffee from it. You can drink magateers if you like, but
It is
that's
perfect
nasty. I don't
maggoteers.
advise
Don't
anybody
look
to drink a magateer.
don't look at my lip
Uh,
gloss. Yeah. Big old gulp of maggoteers. Yeah.
you
Mhm.
can drink a water. You can drink tea, the hot chocolate.
You could
Okay.
drink a tequila or vodka. You can, yeah. It's good for all the things. I just don't drink coffee, and this is water. I like my water. Okay.
All
I'm
right.
gonna pick a
So go
name.
ahead and do a spin. And
I'm closing my eyes, right?
you are now.
Okay. I have Roberta Penn Ice. Roberta
Roberta.
P E
Spell that
N
last name.
N. So it's Roberta Penn Ice.
Pen Ice. Congratulations, Roberta. You did
Congratulations, Roberta.
it.
I watched a
Please.
lot of Yeah, there you go. I watched a lot of Price is Right when I was home from school sick as a kid. So I remember them doing like this thing.
Yeah.
There's always like this thing. And yeah, just the weird hands. So,
That was
you know,
such a great show for watching, like when you were sick, right?
yeah.
I can literally see my bowl of soup
Yep.
and crackers on the side. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. We had of course, we had the pot, the puke pot, like the pot, like get the pot. In my house, we call it the bowl. It's a giant silver mixing bowl that we don't use for anything else except get the bowl. But yeah, in my house, my dad did use the pot for cooking when it wasn't the pot, which is a grim reality that I had never revisited until this moment. But yeah, but I have to confess, I was a cutter, so I wasn't sick all the time. I was often
Ooh.
in just cutting school. Yeah. Yeah. As I was bad. I was such a bad cutter. This is a story I don't think I've ever told publicly. I don't think. I was such a bad cutter that I ended up having to go to summer school detention because I
Ooh.
missed too much school from cutting. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm, mm,
I had to,
mm.
yeah, it was bad. No one wants to do that. And if I could coach young people, anything in this life, it'd be don't cut school, friends. Don't do it. Don't do
I was myself was put on probation for cutting, and when I cut, I used to go to uh Times Square.
it.
That was back when we used to have video game arcades
Oh, sure.
in Times Square. So in
Yep.
the morning, I
And
would
triple
go
X.
to the 42nd Street Public Library,
Uh-huh.
and I would stay there for a few hours until it was safe for me to go to the video game arcade, and I would hang out there until school was out.
Unbelievable. Well, that
Yeah.
was a much cooler place to cut than me in my living room with Bob Barker and yeah, the Showcase Showdown. But
I got one more. I got one more.
oh yeah, okay.
Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Deploying National Guard to Washington, D.C.
Real.
Okay. So I said distraction or both. And I say that because
Mm-hmm.
in D.C., we have National Guard who are collecting garbage. They are doing landscaping. They are taking selfies with people.
Yeah.
Um, so, so yes, it is real in the sense that he did literally deploy them with the stated objective of, what was it? Lowering crime,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
That's not sustainable, by the way. He's bragging that crime is stopped.
Right.
Okay, that you have literally thousands of guys armed in military outfits with guns on the street. You can't keep them there forever, right?
No.
I'm pretty sure that your usual low-level criminals are not going to low-level crime while they've got, Johnny, military guy with his gun and his, right?
Yeah. And if you really, I mean, it's all a flex. It's all him getting us used to the idea of the military being on our streets. It's all
There it
him
is. That's
press.
the other, sorry, that's not to interrupt you, but that's the other reason why it's real, because you're 100% right. He is trying to get America used to seeing military people on the streets, and that's frightening.
And in advance of elections, that he wants to utilize them to scare people from showing up to vote. It's all part and parcel of this agenda that he has. And it's not about crime. If it was about crime, he'd actually be doing this in the cities where the crime rates and the homicide rates are the highest, which are largely in red states, by the way. I
Yeah,
think 13 of the top 20 are cities in red states, but we're not
correct.
doing that. We're not sending the military there. We're sending the military to cities like DC, Los Angeles, but Chicago is coming. And it's not about crime. And by the way, and we do it to wrap because I have to take Abby to soccer. But if you really wanted to do something about crime, what you wouldn't do is take the social safety net infrastructure away from people. You wouldn't make it harder for them to get access to healthcare. You wouldn't make it harder for them to get access to food nutrition assistance. You wouldn't make it harder for them to get fresh and healthy food.
Yeah,
If you really wanted to do something about crime, you wouldn't take away, practices that help those who are marginalized get hired into jobs that can help them move their lives and their families' lives forward so they could be contributing members of society. Because when you take all of that away and you leave them with nothing, right? What are
oh,
they going to
yeah,
resort to? They're going to resort to crime. No matter how many police you have on the streets, when you don't give them any option because you've taken every other thing away from them, that's what's going to happen. So, and
yeah,
there's statistics to prove that. And by the way, also, when you force people to have babies that were either not meant to be conceived, or the families weren't ready for, or they can't have, and you force them to contend with more mouths to feed or just a pregnancy in and of itself, we've also
yeah.
seen data that bears out the numbers in the wake of Roe that prove the crime rates did go down because, again, not only are these families not being forced to contend with this child that they weren't ready for, didn't want, but those children aren't being forced to grow up in homes that don't want them. They can't provide for them. And then they're left with what options? Crime, right? So, like, Republicans have long gaslit us about them being the party that wants to do something about crime when all they have done in every policy and platform is create conditions that are conducive to more crime. And that is something that the Democrats need to be hammering every single fucking day. And yeah, it's all chapter and verse out of Project 2025. And people weren't paying attention when we told them it was coming. Hopefully they'll pay attention now.
I also think it's important for us to push back on the notion that if we oppose having Donald Trump's military, uh, excuse me, having our military on our streets, that somehow that means that we're against crime. No, we're against fascism.
Right.
We are against authoritarianism.
Right.
We are against using our military as political props,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
We're not against crime. Yeah, yeah, we love for crime to be solved. We love it if you didn't deny Washington D.C. the $1 billion of funding for anti-crime measures, or the same kind of funding to Chicago. We
Mm-hmm.
love it if you would be consistent when you say that um, states' rights trump everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but now, when the governor of Illinois says, don't send the National Guard," you said you're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So what is it? Is it states' rights are the most important thing, or states' rights are now irrelevant. The same thing he said about the Epstein's survivors.
And just as a last sidebar, what unfolded in Minneapolis last week was horrific, right? And what Republicans did in the wake of that was grotesque and disgusting. These are Thoughts and Prayers Republicans who were talking about children who were slain in a school where they think while they were praying, right? Like what they did in the wake of that was once again, attribute this to the shooter's gender identity and the mental health crisis in this country. And what do they do about the mental health crisis in this country? They vote against funding services in schools that address the mental health crisis in this country. They are gaslighting the American people on a daily basis, and they are failing our children as a byproduct of that. And they say one thing and they do another, and I don't judge anyone by their words. I judge them by their actions. And Republicans have done nothing but gaslight the American people while literally doing nothing in response to violence, to crime, to shootings, mass shootings, school shootings. I'm so fucking sick and tired of them telling me that I don't care about crime and I don't care about our kids when they can look at something like that. And the only reason that they're even making it an issue at all is because it happened at a Catholic school. I'm Catholic. I care about this. Those were children. I don't care if it was a Catholic school or a public school. I don't care about that. But that was the only thing they cared about. And I'm tired of them normalizing school shootings unless it fits their own political agenda. I'm fucking sick and tired. They ended the Office of Gun Violence Prevention. They took down the memorial wall at the ATF where Jamie's picture, Jamie Gutenberg's picture was on the wall, where it was a memorial wall of people. Yeah. Of people who have been killed in gun violence in this country, so that every day they remembered the faces that are behind these numbers. And the Trump administration, in one of their first acts, took that memorial wall down. So this shit pisses me off. But that's what they do. They gaslight, they lie, they conflate, and they co-opt, and I'm just fucking sick of it.
You and me both, friend. You and me both.
Yeah,
but I just want to reminder to those two lucky people, Roberta Pennice, and Dorothy.
It's Penn and then Ice, so it's like PNNICE.
Pennice, that's very nice.
Thanks. I almost spit out my water out of my very beautiful mug. Pennice is so nice. Oh God! Whoops. He laughed so hard, he laughed himself off the screen.
And Dorothy Paradis, congratulations to you both. Please make sure you contact JoJo immediately with your shipping information, and we'll get that out to you ASAP.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much to the 1,200 people who have joined us now. That was a lot of fun. We got through a lot of stuff, and not all of it. A lot of it really dark and not great. Good stuff, but it's important to have these conversations, and you make me feel a little bit sane-ish every day, a little bit more sane-ish every day. So thank you.
That's the name of your show.
That's the name of it. Yes, it is. But it's also kind of like where I'm at right now. So thanks, everybody. Thank you, Brooklyn. This was fun, as always.
Thank you. Great to see you.
You too. Okay, bye, guys. See you next week.